This episode of River Funsies was brought to you by nothing, because we ain't sponsored by nobody. Welcome back to River Funsies. Today, we will explore Granger Lake once again. Now, Granger Lake is a great place for duck hunting, and if you go prepared, and if you have calls and decoys, towards the later part of duck season, you should be successful. But this episode will focus on white bass fishing, and there's an excellent bait shop right before you get to a place called The Steps. And no boat is required. You can bring waders if you want, but it's easy to fish off the bank. And minnows, lures, light tackle is a great way to catch white bass during the spawn. The spawn for white bass is usually maybe the last 2 weeks of March and the beginning of April. I think we arrived at the spawn this year maybe a little too late. The action wasn't as hot as I'd seen it a few weeks before. But from the bank, those times of the year, it can be a little crowded, but everybody is catching plenty of fish. And this is the branch of the San Gabriel River that feeds into Granger Lake. And right on the bank is excellent fishing. After April, the fish move back into the lake, and it's a little harder to catch white bass. You would be required to have a boat at that point. And here we are with our boat. Granger Lake is also an excellent place for catfishing, limb lines, jug lines, these kind of things. And our luck on this occasion would be with a gar. Not what we were seeking, but hey, we caught a pretty big gar. I guess that's something to be proud of. There is a canoe launch that has a crank to pull your canoe or small boat in and out of the water at a parking lot in the wildlife management area. So that's very helpful, and it's only about a half mile paddle from the canoe launch to a campsite. Campsite is free. You just want to call ahead, let the park rangers know that you're coming. And from that campsite, you can explore the banks of the San Gabriel River up into the lake. Paddling to the lake from this point would be probably an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's a good distance. Fox Bottom Private Camp Area is what it's called. Primitive camp area. And some people tie their boats off at the bank or pull them up on shore. Hammocks was the camping gear of choice because it's not very heavy. It's easy to set up and take down. Within the camping area, there's trails that lead to and from the campsite, and there's certain landmarks within Lake Granger Lake that are pretty neat to explore. So we went looking for the haunted Hoxie Bridge. It's a real thing. And after about 6 miles of wandering around in the dark, we quit and went back to camp and decided to just make the drive in the morning because we were tired and lazy. But we were able to find it in the morning, and it's a historic bridge that has moved to this location.
Hey, did you see that hog in the trap over there?
This is not the original location of the bridge. And the history of the bridge does have some violent aspects to it. Like a prisoner was shot dead on the bridge.
You can't. It's haunted.
And apparently it's haunted, so they say. And so the historical marker says. Didn't seem too haunted to us. I guess all the trails emanate from this point, being 01 trail marker. And there you have it. So once you go on a nice spooky adventure in the middle of the night to find a haunted bridge and give up and can't find it, you can think about all the times that you caught loads of white bass and other places, and plan again for a better experience in the future at Granger Lake, where you can catch loads of white bass, because we were not successful this time. We did find on the way out that somebody had trapped a wild hog, and looks like they were feeding it out to butcher. But hey, that's a good use of an invasive species, and to each his own. Please like, share, and subscribe, and get ready for the next episode of River Funsies.